If you've been following the BWF tournament calendar recently, you would have noticed a name from Canada that you might not recognize. Victor Lai has been making splashes in the World Tour, finishing in the quarterfinals in the US Open, and as a runner-up in the Canada Open, beating his higher-ranked teammate Brian Yang, and even names like Kodai Naraoka. How was Victor Lai able to do that? Well, today, we'll take a look at how a lower-ranked player is able to beat these higher-ranked players and discuss how Canadian men's singles badminton players may finally be able to compete against Asian players.
72 in the world.
Victor Lai's game revolves around a rally style that plays high-percentage shots which are both safe to play and allow him to move smoothly on the court. One key shot in his arsenal are these high pushes that travel over his opponent's heads. An important note is that these high pushes aren't slow. Even though they are higher, they come off the strings quickly with fast shot speed. So his opponent still needs to have a quick first step if they want to change pace and intercept the shot early. Because it's very risky to go for full jump smashes on shots played toward the baseline. And Victor Lai's shots are often played at heights that require his opponents to wait before hitting. Many players playing against Victor often end up playing neutralizing shots instead of attacking. This is when Victor Lai can counter with a shot combo. The first shot combo is to anticipate their late forehand and late backhand clear. As we said before, many players understand the risk and energy needed to commit to a full attack when the lift played is at the baseline of the court, which is often why they will clear, allowing Victor to change the pace and attack.
This could be maybe a little bit closer than a lot of experts have suggested.
The second shot combo is blocking a little tighter to the net and watching the net. By blocking tighter to the net, you give your opponent an opportunity to play a spin net, and many players will want to take this opportunity. Knowing this, Victor will edge up closer for the net to take the spin net early. Blocking tight to the net is like a double-edged sword. If your opponent can play a really good spin net, it becomes dangerous to block tight, especially if you cannot follow up on their spin net. However, if you can take their spin net early, you can easily push them into their late forehand or backhand corners. The reason for this is because when they spin, they will almost always watch the front court in case their opponent nets back. So as long as Victor takes his opponent's spin net early, he can almost always push the pace of the game and catch his opponent's rhythm off. Of course, one major caveat to these high pushes that Victor plays is the fact that most players in the BWF World Tour have the explosive power and agility to attack these shots. For example, look at how Cho Tianchen and Su Liyang are able to attack these lifts. That is why we need to address his retrieval skills and more specifically, his rhythm on court. The most important aspect in Victor's rhythm on court is how quickly he is able to turn his hips and torso. One of the most difficult movements in badminton is when you have to turn your hips and body to retrieve shots. However, Victor is a player that has the ability to adjust his hips very quickly and is seemingly why he is able to move so smoothly on court.
Life in this rally, Lai.
Another aspect of his game that aids his rhythm is the fact that his footwork follows the flow of the game. What we mean by this is that Victor won't rush back to the middle after hitting his shots. Instead, he will speed up when his opponent hits the shuttle. And oftentimes, he won't recover all the way to the center of the court. Instead, he will recover 1 or 2 steps back towards the center and then react to the next shot from there. Notice how his first step is very quick. And then he actually will slow down when he plays his shot to control the shuttle better. Watch these rallies and pay attention to when Victor speeds up in his footwork. Being able to move smoothly is good and all, but to actually win at the level Victor Lai is playing at, you must be able to find and create your own opportunities to score. One of the ways that we commonly mention in our videos is disrupting your opponent's rhythm. And being able to disrupt his opponent's footwork and rhythm is something Victor Lai is extremely good at. Just take a look at these rallies, for example. What particularly stood out is the amount of deception he had on his around the head and forehand net area. Even when he is falling out of position on his around the head side, he is still able to play a deceptive shot that makes his opponent move the wrong way initially.
So here we go, Victor Lai heading us underway. Men's singles final.
However, disrupting your opponent's rhythm isn't only about making it uncomfortable for them to move, but it's also about not falling into your opponent's rhythm. For example, many times Victor will intercept cross pushes early, changing the pace himself, and smashing at the opponent's body. This is an example of playing a shot combo on your opponent's shot combo. By doing this, you change the pace yourself and also prevent your opponent from playing their game. What we can learn from Victor Lai's gameplay is his patience in rallies. Having the patience to push high and over your opponent and playing high percentage shots are things we need to do to move smoothly and stay in the rally. We can also implement Victor Lai's shot combos to change pace and learn from his deceptive shots in the front court and back court to break our opponent's rhythm. Finally, we should try to focus on having quick hip turns and first steps instead of rushing back to the middle after every shot. This will tremendously aid our rhythm and allow us to change pace much easier. At the young age of 20, with his whole badminton career still ahead of him, there are definitely opportunities for Victor Lai to drive up the level of Canadian men's singles badminton, alongside Brian Yang to become competitive against the rest of the world.
In front of his own fans here in Canada.
If you guys like this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. What do you guys want to see next? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching.